Gauteng Education MEC Matome Chiloane is today visiting Primrose Primary School in Germiston. This follows the shooting of a school principal on Friday, allegedly by a grade 6 pupil. According to the department, the incident reportedly occurred when the principal instructed the pupil to take his books to study. Well, following the incident, the learner followed the principal to the staff room where he shot and wounded him with a firearm believed to belong to his parent. The 51-year-old principal is still recovering in hospital. The pupil, meanwhile, faces charges of attempted murder. Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala is there and joins us now. Nqobile, a good morning to you. I think one has so many questions around just the state of the school this morning. After an incident like this takes place on Friday, what does Monday morning look like at Primrose Primary School?
Well, lady, I can tell you that already the school has started. In fact, as we were driving in, we could see some of the grade ones going into their classes, singing along. So I suppose the school is trying to ensure that everything goes back to normalcy. But of course, it can't be normal when a 13-year-old has already shot a principal, which we understand at this very point is currently in hospital, still trying to recover from those wounds. Unconfirmed reports saying that the shot was somewhere around the chest. We do understand at this very point that the police are still investigating, even in terms of where the firearm comes from. At this point, there's quite a lot of investigations going on. We understand also, Naledi, that the 13-year-old is due to appear through the magistrate court this very morning. He is facing charges of attempted murder, which is quite a serious one. You can imagine for a 13-year-old to be facing such charges. But of course, police are investigating, so there's still quite a lot that's taking place. In terms of the question even of how the firearm got into the school, I mean, as we were driving in here, we could see already that there's just one security guard and not much, I suppose, of searching does take place, but we will hear more from the MEC. At the same time, you can imagine the trauma from the family of the principal that got shot, as well as just the work that the teachers do. I mean, there's quite a lot of incidents that have been taking place in and around Johannesburg. I mean, Gauteng with regards to the education department. So that in itself could put a lot of fear, which is what we're expecting to hear from the SGB as well, to sort of give us an idea in terms of what is the way forward, what are their concerns, and what the MEC can do at this very point as he meets with SGB as well as the school management. But at this point, my lady, 51-year-old, still in hospital, 13-year-old, going to court this morning, and just we know that the Department of Education has also dispatched psychosocial support for the learners that were in the school. But the MEC is expected to be here at about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and we'll be watching closely, of course, for his arrival. I think when you mentioned, seeing the grade 1 learners, I immediately just thought about just how many of them would have been exposed to that incident on Friday morning. And if you've, heard from any of witnesses or the family members of witnesses of the incident about just, how frightening this may have been for them. And then talk to me about the community that this takes place in, because when an incident like this happens, people a lot of the time in Nqobile ask, what kind of community do these children come from where you've got a 13-year-old going to school with a firearm?
Well, Naledi, I can tell you, which is the irony of the story, is that's just across. There's actually a church across from the school. So you can imagine that the community here is one that is very Christian-like, but also, as we were driving here, very quiet. Not much taking place, very quiet. You can see that it's quite one of those communities that are just very conservative. As you come in as well, there's quite a lot of teachers around, but strict. No noise where we are standing in the corridors, nobody just aimlessly standing, no such thing. So it's one that is quiet. Opposite, we've got a taxi rank, but as I speak to you, Naledi, you can't even hear any hooting taking place. So it's very bizarre, really, to hear such incident will take place in a community that looks to be so in control. As we were speaking, we were walking in, we spoke to one or two people that said this is something that's very shocking for them, and they're still wondering how it took place. We know that on Friday, when the incident took place, that the school had to close and sort of let the learners go home, and also get the psychosocial support to deal with such issues, because this is one that is concerning. If a grade grade 6 can do such. In fact, when Steve Mabona was speaking to Newzroom Afrika, he did say that there was a lot of concentration to the high schools, but at this point they're feeling that if something like this can happen, then that means that they now need to concentrate even more in primary school.
Yeah, very concerning. Well, we'll wait, of course, for the arrival of the Education MEC. Thank you so much for that update. Our reporter in Germiston, Nqobile Madlala, bringing us the latest on that one.